So I want to ask you this question. Is it better to be loved or feared?
That's a good question.
Come on, don't care about that right now. All we need to do is laugh. So make sure that you watch Put Up, Shut Up, and Stand Up right here on GOVSradio.com.
How many times do I have to tell you? People don't respect him. They fear him. There's a big difference. You want to be somebody? Be somebody who works for a living and takes care of his family.
We on TV.
President Biden is calling it a good day for America. The CDC now saying people who are fully vaccinated against the coronavirus no longer have to wear masks in most settings. It's the biggest move yet in getting our lives back to normal.
Take this mask and shove it. I ain't wearing it no more. Y'all look at me like I'm from Mars when I don't wear it in the store. Don't even try to make me put it on or I'm walking out the door. Take this mask and shove it. I ain't wearing it no more.
If that's a mask he's wearing, I sure wish he'd take it off.
I'll take my mask off if you take your mask off, you son of a bitch.
Take this mask and shove it. I ain't wearing it no more. Y'all look at me like I'm the devil when I don't wear it in the store. Don't even try to make me put it on or I'm walking out the door. Take this mask and shove it. I ain't wearing it no more.
You no longer need to wear a mask.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Don and Benny Versus the World right here on GOVSradio.com, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Vimeo. And like my good friend Ken Pichel always says, we on TV. And yes, indeed, we are, folks. I'm your host, Don Sill, and we got another great show in store for you today. And I'm going to bring him in right now, earlier than normal. My good buddy, Benny Gagoot Rizzuti. How you doing, Benny?
I'm doing good, buddy.
Nice.
It's great.
Man.
I'm early for a change. How about that?
Got you in early. Didn't want to give away too much of the show.
Yeah, okay.
Because this,
all right, but
this...
never mind. You triggered something off of my head. When someone passes away, they call them late, like the late Lucille Ball. Isn't she early? Didn't she get there before we did? When do they say they're late? They're not late. Point. They're in heaven. You're late.
Yeah, exactly. They were early. They took an early.
They're early. From now on, I'm going to say that. Yeah. The early Whitey Ford.
Yeah.
The early Yogi Berra.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Late. I never got that late. How? They're not late. You're late.
I know. I wonder how that started. We got to find the origins of that because everyone says the late, great, like if they're talking about George Carlin, the late, great George Carlin.
Yeah.
Or, it's weird. We got to get to the bottom of that. What does that mean?
Yeah.
If anybody knows what that means, let us know in the comments.
How are they late? I don't get it. How are they late? They don't even know how to tell time anymore. Time doesn't mean anything.
Were they supposed to be gone earlier and then they're late? Like you never should have made it to 27 years old, Janis Joplin.
No,
you're late.
Yeah. You're late. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good point.
All right, yeah, thanks. I'm sorry I took you off track there, but
no, that's good. I mean,
because I'm early. I'm early. I'm like, whoa, I'm nervous now.
But you're 3 hours behind right now because you're actually in San Francisco right now.
I'm in San Francisco, man.
You're in San Fran, right there by the bridge, the Golden Gate Bridge.
The Golden Gate Bridge, and I'm not jumping off.
And pot's legal there.
Yeah, why do you think I'm here? Why do you think I left New York? They're still trying to figure out how to price it in New York and New Jersey.
Exactly.
California had it down before it was even legal.
I was gonna say, I like the look a lot you got going on there. The hat and the beard. You look like the Frisco Kid. Have you ever seen the Frisco Kid?
Why is this Saturday different from all other Saturdays?
'Cause this Saturday, there's a hanging posse chasing us.
Yeah, I did with Gene Wilder.
yeah, you look like Gene Wilder.
Come here, little chicken. I'm not gonna kill you. I'm gonna make you kosher. That was a good movie with Harrison Ford.
That was a great movie. That's
that was
unsung.
a great movie. The Cisco Kid. I forgot. Yeah.
No!
God. That's big.
Yeah, it's an unsung classic to me. It's it's a great movie. You look just like him. I could play Harrison Ford, and you could be Gene Wilder in that. And
Yeah.
When they're going off the ledge.
Yeah.
Off the cliff.
No, that was a fun movie. I remember I saw that on the big screen too.
Rabbi, you got a gun?
I took you off track. I know you had important things to talk about, and you.
Well, no, this is always good. But I did want to say, like right now, as we all know, people, the last, I would say, the last year and a half or so, it's really been heightened. But it's always been a thing, is racism, and now it's everywhere. Anytime something goes wrong, racism is the blame. Even Fauci is now blaming racism for everything that happened with Wuhan. It seems like the more pressure gets on Fauci for, coming up and, creating the drug and then getting it out there and then controlling us all. Now that we're starting to figure it out, all of a sudden he's like, it's racist. It's racist. Ha ha ha.
And the undeniable effects of racism in our society. Let us promise ourselves that our corporate memory of this tragic reality, that an infectious disease disparately hospitalizes and kills people of color, does not fade after we return to some form of normality.
So that's, Fauci, so it's everywhere. Racism is everywhere. It's even even Biden talks about racism all the time.
Documented incidents of hate against Asian Americans have seen a skyrocketing spike over the last year, let alone the ones that happened and never get reported.
The Asians are starting to be affected by racism because of COVID and the Wuhan thing, and some people are blaming these people directly, which it's not their fault. They're victims of this too, just like the rest of us.
Right. Yeah.
We're all victims of Fauci and his creation.
Now, very few of these comorbidities have racial determinants.
Okay.
And what he created,
Yeah, and what he created, this big mess, and then that's like if I threw a rock through your window and then told you, Benny, if you give me $500, I could get you a new window. And then you're like, you just broke my window. Trust me. And then if you say no, then I go,
a new one.
And I go, then you're racist. If you don't let me fix your window, you're racist. But you broke it. Tough shit, man.
COVID-19 has shown a bright light on our own society's failings.
So that's basically what's going on. But what's happening now is there has been some kind of backlash against Asians and the Asian people. Now it's become a big thing. I think this is Asian month. This is like a special month for the Asians.
Hi, I am Ken Jung. I'm here to celebrate our community for Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. Get to know us.
Asian Pacific.
Asian American.
Asian Pacific. Happy Asian Pacific American Heritage Month.
You're welcome.
Recently, like last week, a couple days ago, the comedian Tony Hinchcliffe. I don't know if you know Tony Hinchcliffe. He's a LA comedian.
Helen Keller. Perfect abortion. This is the sound I make when I want the person next to me to think I'm a good person.
He's an LA comedian. He's part of like Joe Rogan's posse. He based out of the Comedy Store. He does his own show there called Kill Tony, where he basically puts up open mic. It's very similar to PUSUSU, but PUSUSU is more of a game show, more of a competition.
Right.
Where his show, he just basically puts up. He has a panel of judges, but he just puts up an open micer, and then everyone critiques him and pretty much rips the guy to shreds most of the time.
You look like a dude out of a career forever.
Yeah. I've never seen
Dave.
somebody talk out of the side of their mouth and their ass at the same time.
But anyway, so it's mean spirited. So Tony Hinchcliffe he's been earning a name the last few years. I think he has a Netflix special, stuff like that. So he's very swarmy and has a different take. Is like mean spirited comedy,
Yeah.
But so, and I think it's also divided. What he did, so what Tony has done was he went up on stage and did a performance following an Asian guy, and I'll show you it. Let me share the screen, and I'll show you this, and we'll kind of walk through it together of what happened here. Okay, so you see on my screen,
Right.
Okay, so now Benny, here we are. This is Peng Dang. It's his name, Peng Dang,
Right.
And he's a comedian, and he is now opening up the show. He's kind of the MC, and he did his set already, and he's opening up the show for Tony Hinchcliffe. And here's how it goes down. And you tell me what you think. Let's watch this. You tell me what you think about this performance.
Give it up for the one and only Tony Hinchcliffe.
Hello, good evening, welcome, hello. How about one more time for the filthy little fucking that was just up here?
So I'll stop it there. So that's just like nuts. And now with the temperature of the world, and we just said there's been a lot of heat with this anti Asian sentiment, right? And now here comes a comedian. This is a couple of days ago, and the first thing he says, and I know he's trying to be funny and all that, but look, and I know that I'm a big proponent for freedom of speech, right? But where, but this is. Look what he says, you filthy little effing C. And I don't even want to say it. It's a racial slur. So
right. That was just up here.
Right. Now, do you think Tony would have been this brazen had it been a black dude that he's following? But
no.
Yeah.
No, I would. Everybody's afraid to say that word. No white man in his white mind no white man in his white mind would friggin' say that word. So
yeah, do you think that's funny so far what he said?
I think it would have been funny 30 years ago or so. I think it would have been funny, but that was a different crowd. That was a different, the people who loved Blazing Saddles.
Right.
They might find this funny, but they're not around anymore.
Hey, boys, look what I got here. Hey, where are the white women at?
And yeah, and so far there's not really, and through the years, there's always been Asian. There's been jokes at the expense of Asians, like those sunglasses that have the slanty eyes. You put them on, and people talk like that, and they wear the hats and right. But
or the camera. The Japanese always had a camera at one time.
Right, yeah,
yeah. So there was jokes about the camera, and I remember this one comedian, very funny, and he said something about different ethnic in the beginning of the show.
Right.
And at the end, he saw there was some people there just visiting. He said, "Where you from?" "We're from Japan." He said, "All right, I'll stand here. Take the fucking picture."
Yeah, right. But that's funny though. So you can make fun of race and you can make fun of stereotypes in a funny way. But when you come out and the first thing you say is filthy little effing C, it was just up here. Okay, so and it's also kind of and you tell me, Benny, you've done more stand-up than I've done. It's taboo almost to when you go on a set to rip apart the performer that is also on the bill with you.
Right.
Right. You
even if you don't like the person.
You're right. You don't get up after his set and then make fun of his set or make fun of that person. It's just, to me, I think it's like there's like a taboo to that, I think.
Yeah, there should be, and you should have some personal integrity. That if you don't, I know, like you said, he was obviously out to get laughs with this.
I think,
it wasn't that he doesn't like the guy, right?
Right, because as far as I know, before this, they were friendly. That guy Peng Dang was actually on the Kill Tony show, I think, as a judge in the past. So they had a relationship, and I think that that Tony also requested that Peng Dang open the show. So
for this joke,
maybe for this show, but because I think what happened leading up to this. So Peng Dang's set, I believe he was making fun of white people.
Right? How can you love guns but hate Asians? We invented gunpowder. Right? No Asians, no gunpowder, no American Revolution, and all the white people in this country will still be talking quite like the British. You're welcome.
And all the white people in the audience were laughing, right?
Right.
Like laughing at themselves, which is fine. And I think that's what Hinchcliffe here is going on about and why he's mad at the audience. So here, let's watch a little bit more. We'll start over. Okay. Here we go.
All you fucking race traitors are whooping and hollering. I'm back there watching you puking in a fucking bucket. Oh, we making a gunpowder. Oh, you want extra soy sauce. Oh, you borrow money from us. And you guys just eating it up, you fucking pussy. Give it up.
Oh, so what do you think of that?
So he's going after the audience for laughing at the guy was making fun of them. So he's making fun of white people, and he's saying, I was in the back watching you puking in a bucket. So
yeah, he was saying that the audience is making him sick because they were laughing at themselves. Right.
But isn't that what we do at most comedy shows? Don't we laugh at ourselves?
Yeah.
Richard Pryor used to make fun of white people all the time. And
right. And
and it was funny. Richard Pryor would do the, oh dear, I don't know, dear. There looks like a lot of Negroes in this room, dear.
You ever notice how nice white people get when there's a bunch of around?
And he did the one with we believe you're in our seats. Remember, you're in our seats.
Oh yeah.
Tough shit, motherfucker. Oh, that's okay. Here, screw my wife, right?
Yeah. He also did the joke about rednecks. He goes, rednecks is scary. Rednecks scare me. He goes, you know when a redneck, when it's time to leave a party, when you hear the redneck go, yeah, all right, time to go.
Yeah, no, and that was funny. And different people met. What's his name there? Don Rickles made but Don Rickles was, like you said, this guy here right now, Tony. It's like he's out for blood. It's like he's coming out and he's really, he's seriously digging into the guy and digging into the audience.
And there's no punchline. There's no punchline. There's nothing clever about it. He's just coming out. Yeah, he's just coming out, yelling, berating the audience. So here, and I think, I know he was trying to be funny.
And I think his joke was that I was back there puking in a fucking bucket.
Right. Yes, and that he was sick. That the audience is making him sick.
Making him sick. Yeah.
Right.
So here,
let's watch
you
more here.
Puking in a fucking bucket. Oh, we making a gunpowder. Oh, you want extra soy?
Now the accent too. Oh, you're making powder. That, to me, that's also racist. When you impersonate other races in a mocking way like that, I think is also kind of treading the line. Like even if even old school comics that did the hey, I'm the black guy, I think that's racist as well. So I think that
they even name their children. They get the knives and the forks and they chuck them in the air. Ping pang, gong, chong chong.
Buddy Hackett used to take a rubber band and put it over his eyes.
Right, exactly.
And do a Chinese man, and he had a joke with it, which I'm paraphrasing the joke. but it was something of, I do this to look Chinese, and I got beat up one time, but I'm gonna keep doing it until they kill me or some joke like that. You know, Buddy Hackett.
Right.
But
Old
Buddy
school
Hackett
guys.
made.
It was a different era back then, but it's just like the old Bugs Bunny stuff. When you watch these things now, you could cringe because we have come a long way with how we deal with racism. You know.
All right, but there's certain comics that they make race funny. Where Richard, I will look back on Richard Pryor's stuff, and it still makes me laugh.
Oh, there's comics that could do race now, and it's
Right.
funny, but it's clever, and they find a clever way to say it and to do it, right? Where it's funny. This so far, and Tony Hinchcliffe is a funny guy. I've seen
Right.
his stuff in the past, but this is not funny so far. To me, this is like shock value racist tirade that has no punchline. You know,
All right, but I don't believe that. Don't get me wrong. If I was sitting there, I'd probably be offended as well. But I don't think he came out and thought, "Let me trash this guy," because, like I said, they know each other.
I think he wanted. Yeah, I think he thought this would be more funny, but what happened was Peng Dang himself is the one who released this. And
Really?
Yeah, so Peng Dang was very offended, and he released this on his Twitter, and I'll get to that. I'll show you the Twitter post in a second too. But
Okay.
But so far, he talks about the fake ads. Oh, we make gunpowder. Oh, you want extra soy sauce? And here we go.
Oh, you borrowed money from us, and you guys just eating it up, you fucking pussy.
So that's that clip, and there's also another full set of Tony Hinchcliffe, and in the full set, you'll see that Tony basically he's still in a tirade mode, but he starts going off on the lefties and the left-wing people, and telling them that they're pussies also, but basically letting everyone know that he wasn't serious about what he said about Peng Dang. But Peng Dang, he said in this tweet, he tweeted out and basically exposed Hinchcliffe, and now Hinchcliffe is starting to get canceled. I think he lost his management.
Wow.
He lost his management.
Wow.
He lost his. He was on tour with Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan took him off the tour.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's paying. Yeah, he's getting canceled essentially. And if you watch that, and if you're not a comedian or comedian minded, you are going to be extremely offended. And especially with the temperature of the world the way it is today, especially when you have the President Biden himself telling us we have to, stop being so racist towards the Asian community, and then there's this guy, yo, make soy sauce and all that stuff. So
when Al Sharpton comes out and says, "Leave the Asian people alone,"
yeah,
that was Al Sharpton came out and said, "This is it. It was stop messing with the Asians." And the next thing you know, Don Corleone's going to come out, and the party's going to be over.
That we stand together today, as we did yesterday, to very openly and vociferously and strongly denounce the hate attacks on Asian American brothers and sisters in this country.
So Peng Dang went on Twitter and basically said that last week in Austin, Texas, I got to bring up Tony Hinchcliffe. This is what he said: "Happy Asian AAPI Heritage Month." So it's Asian Heritage Month, and this is what this Hinchcliffe did this, and now he's and I'm curious what people think, what the viewers, people watching think. Just let us know. I'm kind of on the fence about it. I think on the surface it's extremely racist and just not funny. But if you look for any comedic value, or if you look at freedom of speech and all that kind of stuff, does he have a right to go for the jugular like this and call somebody a racial slur, make fun of the accent, and all of those kind of things? So it's a weird catch-22 because even with me when I talk about freedom of speech and all that stuff, I still don't like hate speech, and I don't like mean-spirited comedy.
All right, and now I'm thinking of how could I make fun of this guy? I didn't see his act, right?
Right.
But what's his name?
Peng Dang.
Peng Dang. I'm thinking of, all right, I'm gonna go up and he's gonna introduce me, and I'm gonna come up there, but I want to make fun of him. But I want to make fun of him in a fun way. So I'm thinking right in my head, this is how my head's working. I'm gonna go up and I'm not gonna call him a or anything. I'm gonna call him like a name of a character that we all can like. Look at Hideki Matsui gave up baseball and now he's doing stand-up. I call him a name like Hideki Matsui or Charlie Chan or Mao Zedong.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. To me,
instead of I won't say.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's funnier. Your approach is funnier and it's more clever. And I think it will get a bigger laugh rather than this, the shock value.
If that's what I wanted to do, if I wanted to make fun of the guy and say we are friends, so I'm not going to call him a where, I'm going to think of something funny to say about it and everything. And then say, look, he's telling you jokes and he's making fun of you guys.
Yeah.
And you're laughing. And a year and a half, you couldn't go out of your house because his parents were eating bats. You see what I'm getting at? I'm trying to think of. And now this reminds me, because sometimes comedians, they're always trying to be funny. And, a real comedian. Sometimes they'll say something and not realize how offensive it is.
Right.
And here's an example of one of my heroes, Bob Hope. And I don't know if I ever told you this story before. Bob Hope was on a talk show. And he made fun of someone, either someone on Johnny's staff, or there was someone there with a tie. And he said, the tie makes you look like a fag. Okay. And he said it to be funny.
Right.
And they're total comedy. When he got the next day or whatever, they went after him. The LGBT, everybody went in, and he had no idea. He was very naive to it.
Right.
So when he realized how offensive it was to people, how they were, when he was only trying to tell a joke, he said, you know what? I'm not going to apologize to the LGBT community. I'm going to take my own money. And he made a public service announcement talking about how he started off with, I'm an American and I'm proud to be an American.
I'm proud to live in this great free country, and I'm proud of our commitment to free speech, and I'm proud of our country's commitment to protecting the rights of its citizens to work and live free from bigotry and violence.
And I was shocked to learn of, and I had seen him do a few. I saw him do one about gay bashing and everything.
He's a class act.
He became, he was a class act, and he became a champion for it because he thought calling somebody, saying the tie made you look like a fag was funny.
Right, exactly, yeah.
And then he learned that, no, he was, big mistake.
But I think too, but Bob Hope wouldn't have called somebody a fag in the height of like today with the LGBTQ community being as big as they are now and as outspoken as they are now, and it's a thing, more now. I mean, it was always a thing. I'm just saying that now it's really at the forefront. So the temperature there, so with the athletes and all these trans issues coming about, so for Bob Hope to say something now when it's a hot topic, I don't think he would have done it. I think he would have known better.
Because
right,
he wasn't aware back then.
Right, but
he wasn't aware.
Yeah, Hinchcliffe knows full on.
Yeah, right.
That we're in the middle of this COVID thing. It's Asian. There's a lot of Asian hate, a lot of blame towards the Asian community. The Asian community was just out like rallying like a week ago for their rights and stuff like that.
Because, I'm really proud to be in this country. My grandfather was an immigrant, came here, worked on the railroads. My father was an immigrant. My great uncle helped work on the railroads. And I just want to say, we need to stop the violence.
Enough is enough. And that's all I have to say, really.
And then Hinchcliffe comes out and does like what with 1965 type material. It was like a throwback. It was almost like so over the top that I was waiting for more of a punchline for him to be like, And that was an impression of my uncle. You know, I was waiting for him to say something to get it off, you know, to push it off, but he just kept moving on with it. Like, if you watch the full thing, he does kind of try to make light of it.
And you guys just eating of the liberal chicks, just holding strong. Can't even smile at this, huh? No way, we can't even bend. This guy's being serious. He must have hate in his blood. We live so far east of the 35.
But he doesn't full on get himself out of it. He kind of owns it a little. He did say something about bats. He said the Asians love it here because they know that bats come out at night, like I guess in Texas, the bats fly around eating the bugs and stuff.
Look at you fucking fake bitches in this room. I don't even want to make you guys laugh. I don't even like you anymore. These fucking Chinese people, they find out we have flying bats every night, and here they come.
So but I think your approach to
if
how
I
you
was
would do
today, because I wouldn't even, I'd try to stay away from that anyway.
Yeah, just go out there and go, hey, everybody, and just do your act. Instead, he wanted to,
but he thought he was being funny. But then some of the rules of, like, I read a book on comedy one time that said, you shouldn't make fun of the other comics, even if you like them or dislike them.
Right.
You should stay away from that, especially an MC. An
Exactly.
MC, if you don't like somebody, you don't bring them up and say, I'd rather shoot myself than bring this guy up or something stupid. You bring him up, as a gentleman. You do it as and another thing is stay away from in-jokes, which is a problem that a lot of local comedians go up in their open mics and they tell an in-joke, and they're talking about, nasal hair in between your toes or something, which was funny, because some guy was trying to give himself head and he stuck his toe in his nose and some shit. Something
like inside jokes.
We're dealing with weird people too.
So if we're talking, like, you don't want to get up on stage in front of a fresh audience of people that are seeing you for the first time and joke about, like, Jeff Bosey's breasts.
Right. Yeah. Bosey's breasts they wouldn't get. Or shoot the cookie. Talk about shoot the cookie, but no one knows what shoot the cookie is.
Right, exactly. So it's only funny
it's a disgusting game, but but if I go up and say, "Wow, we got enough guys here to play shoot the cookie," nobody's gonna know what I'm talking about. Well, like you said, talk about somebody's hairline or
right.
Nobody's gonna get it.
Right.
So
now, Benny, if you're Tony Hinchcliffe now, and Tony's a very arrogant type of comedian too. He's very arrogant. Right. He probably thinks this is going to blow over or this is going to make him more famous. What do you do if you're Tony Hinchcliffe? If this happened to Benny Rizzuti, you lost your mind on stage, you made fun of an Asian guy, it went viral. You're getting canceled. You lost your management. You just lost your spot with Joe Rogan. A lot of comedians are coming to his defense, but how do you get yourself out of this?
You use your own money and you make a public service announcement, man.
Bigotry has no place in this great nation, and violence has no place in this world, but it happens.
I told you what to do. That's what I would. Do you think, said, Benny, you're in trouble, I'll say,
do you
just
think there's
take my face and we'll superimpose it on Bob Hope's body?
I'm proud to live in this great free country, and I'm proud of our commitment to free speech, and I'm proud of our country's commitment to protecting the rights of its citizens to work and live free from bigotry and violence.
You think there's a sense of retreat though when they do that? Do you think there's I feel like comedians now they dig their feet in the dirt more and they don't budge. Like I feel like a lot of it, like it's not the in thing to do to apologize. I know a lot do, but I feel like this guy, being this edgy comedy style, might not want to come out and apologize.
The problem with apologizing is sometimes people don't believe you anyway. Yeah. And they're going to say, oh, you're an arrogant guy, so you're only apologizing because you want work. You want to get the work back and everything.
Right.
So I think I like the Bob Hope approach. I would turn around and instead of Bob Hope never came out and said, "Hey, I said a joke, and I'm sorry I said the joke. It was the wrong thing." He came out in defense of I am appalled that this is going on to people in our country.
Right.
People are being and don't be a part of it. That's how he ended it. He said, I was appalled to learn about how gay people are being abused and everything. Don't be a part of it. And
Right.
And that's what I would turn around and say, instead of apologizing for apologizing for the name calling or I would say something like, what I do for fun. I do it in fun, and I want us all to laugh. And sometimes sometimes you cross the line, and I didn't realize what was really going on. I didn't realize. I thought what I did was all in fun. And don't be a part of this. Let's not be a part of racial bias.
Yeah.
Let's not be a part of
I agree. And some people even calling, like some people that are on Tony's side, there's a lot of comedians that are on Tony's side for freedom of speech, and they're being funny and all these things. But and then they're calling Peng Dang like a rat, like he betrayed the bro code type of thing. Like you should never have done that, and that he's only looking for clout. So they're saying Peng Dang took an opportunity to throw Hinchcliffe under the bus so he can get clout. And like I never knew Peng Dang's name before this, and now here he is. Peng Dang is in the conversation all over the place. But I'll tell you this too: when I was doing research on this thing, Hinchcliffe. I'm going to show you another clip. This is from a couple of weeks ago. All right. And you tell me what you think of this. So hold on. Let me get to it again. I'll show you this one. So now check out this clip. This is an interview that Hinchcliffe did a couple weeks ago.
Closing out the festival with the Best of Fest show, but I was last on the show.
Oh,
so it was
you must have been
final comedian.
You must have been stressed at the fest.
It's a stressful position. To make matters more stressful, Margaret Cho is doing the show prior to the Best of Fest show, and she goes and does 2 hours on her own.
Oh God!
And it's the same audience that's there, that remains there for the Best of Fest show.
My father always be like, Margaret, go to school, do your work, and that's why the chicken crossed the road.
2 hours for 2 hours.
Yeah.
In Salt Lake City.
Is that him? The one with the mustache or the one without the mustache?
This is him right here. So he's the one that just did the Margaret Cho.
Right. Okay.
And Margaret. So he did the accent again, and then he continues. So yeah, so you could see that this guy is always going for the cheap joke with the Asians. So here, check this out. And I also want to add to people too that I am also Filipino. I'm half Filipino blood. You can't really tell, but I'm also, so technically I'm Asian. And,
yeah, you only found this out like a couple of weeks
ago.
No,
I found out I was French. I always knew I was Filipino.
Oh, you always knew you were Filipino,
yeah.
But you just found out you were French.
I found I was French and not Italian. So I lost my Italian and I gained French. But I am Filipino descent. So
all right.
The accent thing grates on me a little bit. I don't mind the humor, but it's one of those things. It's the same thing. I have 3 daughters that are half Puerto Rican, and whenever I hear Puerto Rican jokes, I get little cackles on my hair, on my neck. It's the same type of thing. I don't let it go. I think if they're funny, they're funny. I mean, I'm not like the race police or anything, but this type of stuff does raise the cackles on my neck a little bit. So all right, so here's the rest of this interview real quick. So he just made fun of her act basically, and that Margaret Cho. Her whole act is her mom. She does her mom, Margaret.
Her family,
yeah. So you could argue that he's just imitating Margaret Cho, but anyway, here's the rest.
Was it, if Margaret Cho's performing, is it called Soy Lake City? Because they use soy sauce instead of salt. They also use salt.
There's salt and soy sauce.
Maybe it's
right?
MSG Lake City. Okay, keep going.
So
he's trying to be funny.
He's trying to be funny, and I'll tell you what, Tony Hinchcliffe, he's trying to be funny, and Tony Hinchcliffe is funny most of the time. This is a very bad decision during a very bad time. Not the Margaret Cho, the Peng Dang thing. I just showed the Margaret Cho thing just to show you there's a pattern, right?
Yeah, I know, but now we're now we're looking for a pattern. Next thing we're gonna tar and feather the guy and drive. you know, people do accents. People may, you know, I'm okay with an accent, you know.
He is getting tarred and feathered now.
I do the worst Sicilian accent. I do the worst one when I do Alfredo Gagoose. But I love it. My family laughs. Everybody. I told you one time I got to work on that, and you said, "No, don't work on it."
Yeah, we like it the way it is. But you're Italian, right? And
Yeah,
I think there's also if anyone else does an Italian accent, it's fine. My thing is that though, you know, it's just I don't know how, you know, totally how I feel about that bit. I love stand-up comedy. I love comedians, but I don't always like mean-spirited comedy. Do I want the guy to be canceled? No, because I think you can't. You have to look. My whole thing has always been this: everyone should have the freedom of speech, and you should also have the freedom of bad taste. You should be allowed to have bad taste and bad judgment, but you also got to understand that every action has a reaction, and that if you do have bad taste or bad judgment, it can come back at you in a negative way, and what you put out in the universe comes back at you. So if you're going to go out and call a guy racist slurs, that's going to boomerang and come back at you, and then you're going to lose your spot on a major tour with Joe Rogan, who's arguably one of the top comics in the world right now. So, you know, I think, you know, if that's his harshest punishment, and then he could still continue on working at the Comedy Store doing his Kill Tony show, and he can continue on, then I'm fine with that, you know. And I don't want to see anybody get canceled, but this is the world we're in now, you know. And I hope he does the right thing.
And yet you're offended? You're not going to survive the rest of this show, lady. I promise you that. Let me save you some time. Yeah, let me save you some time. You're going to hate me. Yeah, just go now. Just get out now.
I hope he does what you said, Bob Hope. Hope he does an apology.
You know, don't come out. Don't apologize. Bob Hope didn't apologize.
Yeah, just do it like what do you do? Like a PSA about?
Yeah, he did a PSA with his own money. He got his own. He got the crew together, and he put it together, and he thought that was better than an apology. And I used to play it when I would do Benny TV. I used to play it every once in a while because I thought it was, and I remembered him doing one about gay bashing too, because in the 80s it was very bad where they attacked like a couple that they thought was a gay two men, and it was a man and a woman, but she had short hair. They thought it was two guys that, you know,
I remember that.
It was getting out of hand for a while.
Yeah, the gay bashing was nuts.
The gay bash. So and he wasn't aware of it. So he became aware where, okay, this guy is aware of what's going on.
Right.
But still, like I said, if you apologize, you know, if I turn around and say, look, I'm sorry for calling you that word or saying the way I acted, I say, I'm sorry. You're going to see reasons for my apology. You're not going to believe I'm sincere.
Right.
Some people might, but you're not.
It's all the actions, not you got
action.
Show me you're sorry. Don't tell me you're sorry. Right.
So what Bob Hope did, instead of saying, you know, I apologize for that, he was like, I was not aware that this is going on. And if you're an American, you shouldn't be doing this either.
So Benny, here's all right, let's do this. All right, I'm going to play some nice music.
All right.
All right. And I want you to pretend you're Tony Hinchcliffe.
Okay.
Okay. And you're in that situation, and do a PSA. Are you ready? All so right. I'll count you down, and I'll call action just like I'm filming this thing. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, action.
Hi, some of you may know me. I'm Tony Hinchcliffe, and a couple of days ago, I did a stand-up show with a very good friend of mine who brought me up, and he happened to be Asian. And I thought it was all fun and games of calling him a freaking dink. And I said some things, you know, called him a bastard and a little, you know, and starch in the collar and all this. Well, now I've not only lost my tour, I've lost my show, but I can't find a friggin' dry cleaner, and I can't get Chinese food anywhere. So I am telling, don't be like that, okay? Don't be don't make fun of people for race. Now I used to go to a grocery store and I would go up to the Asian woman to buy a pineapple. If I wanted a watermelon, I have my friend Tyrone. He won't even talk to me anymore. I want tomatoes. Mrs. Monagatti, who used to pick tomatoes for me, now throws them at me. So don't be an asshole like me, all right? And call people names, which is uncalled for. Don't call them names. Don't call them. Be nice to people. Treat people the way you want them to treat you. He was nice enough to introduce me very nicely. And what I do, I called him a little fucking. Okay, I was wrong. I was wrong. I'm not going to apologize. You're not going to believe I'm apologizing if I apologize. So I'm just telling you, I'm wrong. Please, let's make this water under the bridge. And I have a lot of clothes that are filthy. I need a dry cleaner. Come on. Spanish people, I love them, but they don't know how to dry clean. They burn all my shirts. Okay?
Yes.
I have no idea what I said.
That was awesome, man.
What?
That was
You were
awesome.
laughing. I have no idea.
I was trying so hard not to laugh because
I have no
I wanted
idea.
that to be a clean take. That was so good. That's the way I'm going to send this to Tony Hinchcliffe. And I'm hoping that he has the wherewithal to reshare it and let the world know. And you are speaking for Tony Hinchcliffe, Benny.
Yes.
God bless.
Hold the phone, stop the presses. I have a very important announcement to make. Don Sill Show. Put up, shut up, and stand up on GOVS Radio. Maybe the best thing to prevent COVID since the N95 mask. Other things it's better than sliced bread. The clapper. Actual sex. And that's saying a lot. Listen to it, or be burned at the stake! I'm only kidding. Or am I?
All right, Benny, we're back. I also want to talk to you about chimpanzees. Okay, so I interviewed a guy named Johnny Chow. Right. Johnny Chow is the rock. He's the chef that rocks or something like that. He's been around for a long time. He actually went fishing with Muddy Waters when he was a kid. Him and Muddy Waters. Yeah, they went fishing for sunfish. He's from Brooklyn, but he grew up upstate New York near a theater, and he used to hang out by the theater and help out. And he got to go fishing and take Buddy Waters out on a boat and all this stuff and play harmonica for Buddy.
Oh, cool.
And just had a blast. And he's been around a lot of stuff. So, but one of the things that stands out throughout his wacky career is that he ended up living at the Neverland Ranch with Michael Jackson. And he was helping cook for Michael Jackson. And he also took care of his chimpanzees. So this will be a conversation that will be released on the YouTube page in a couple of weeks. But I wanted to give everybody a sneak peek of this right now.
Awesome.
So here's a little clip of Johnny Chow talking about his time at the Neverland Ranch and hanging out with the chimpanzees. Here we go.
Hey, you pain in the neck. What do you want? You want to eat again? Oh my God. So one of the coolest experiences of hanging out at Neverland. What? Can I tell the story? Yeah, okay, then shut up. All right. One of the coolest experiences of hanging out at Neverland was, you remember? When Jane Goodall brought 2 baby chimpanzees to live with Michael.
Damn. So you were there?
Yeah, because Bubbles was getting violent.
They become very strong. It sort of almost happens overnight, and suddenly they pack on all this extra muscle, and they get a real attitude, and they're going to compete with you, and they become very hierarchical suddenly. You know, you can't have an adult chimp free to roam, not in a suburban environment, not in a family home. You just can't.
That's where you get when you get older, right? Shut up. So what happens is when, guys like this, I know you love me, leave me alone. When these chimpanzees get older,
right,
they get violent. But why? I treat you good. Look at his beautiful eyes. Look how beautiful is.
Very nice eyes, Troubles.
You like Don? Okay. So what happens is when they get older, it's tough to keep them animals, any animal. But anyway, so Michael had given Bubbles away to do commercials. And then so Jane Goodall brings these new chimpanzees, beautiful ones like this guy. But this guy, they left with me because he loved me. I used to feed him Similac when he was a baby. You want Similac now? No, you eat bananas and other things now. What do you mean all right, take it easy. So listen. So what happened is when Michael got these new baby chimps, this is gonna kill a story, because the trainer would come up there. His name was Bob Dunn. I forget. I don't want to drop names, but I forget a lot of these names. But anyway, he would come up and he'd spend the day with these new chimpies. They were your uncles and aunts. You're too young. and then he'd leave them at night, and then he'd say to me, "You got to give them a Similac at a certain hour." And I go, "Hey, what am I? What do I look like? An animal trainer? You want me to feed the chimpanzees Similac at 10 o'clock at night or whatever?"
Wow.
That's what I had to do.
Wow. So you had to take care of the two chimpanzees and feed them like bottles of Similac?
Yeah. Listen, you want to know a story? I went to buy so much Similac one day at a store. They go, "How many kids do you have?" I'm like, "Are you kidding?" Oh, and then the other thing, Michael goes to me one day. Remember what? No, you don't remember. You're too young. Okay, you're too young. When Michael said to me, "Johnny, go buy some clothes for the babies," right? I'm like, I went along with all this. I was like, I'm a whack job myself. I went along with all this. Okay, I drove to Santa Barbara, went to a store where they sold expensive. I'm not talking Walmart here. I'm talking expensive kids' clothes.
Wow.
So I bought all these clothes for the two. They were two different sizes. That was your aunt and uncle, okay? Just listen, will you? Listen, Donnie's here. Listen, Donnie doesn't want you to talk. Be quiet. All right, so I buy clothes. I spent $40,000 on clothes.
Wow. $40,000 on clothes for the chimpanzees.
I almost bought the store out. The lady goes, but your kids are going to grow out of these clothes soon. Why do you want to spend so much money? I wanted to say because they're very hairy, but I didn't. What am I going to say? I said, "Listen, don't worry about it. Hey, you're making a sale. I don't know, they gave me this big discount, but a bunch of fun clothes for the monkeys." So we dressed the monkeys up, right? The chimps. And then all of a sudden one day, I mean, I have a lot of Michael Jackson stories. I don't want to continue on that because I don't know. I mean, we can go. I mean, if you want to keep going, because if you want to edit all this, I've never given this much of an in-depth interview to many people. So.
Oh yeah, let's keep going. This is
if
great.
You can.
All right, Benny. So there's another thing about Johnny Chow I wanted to tell you too. He didn't get too much into it, but he cooked for the Grateful Dead. And he hung out with them. Yeah, Johnny Ware, and
Bob Weir.
He hung out with him. Bob Weir. He's got pictures with Bob Weir and stuff, and also, of course, the late great Jerry Garcia, or the early Jerry Garcia.
The early Garcia,
yeah. He hung out with him as well and cooked for the whole band in San Francisco. That's where he met them all. San Francisco. There's an awards show called the Bammies that they used to do in San Francisco, and like all these San Francisco bands were there, but also like the Grateful Dead. Obviously, the San Francisco is such a rock and roll historical site.
Yes.
So that's a great place for these rock bands to be there. But it was like, this guy cooked for Santana. He cooked for the Grateful Dead. He cooked for Huey Lewis was there.
Cool.
So and he's not even a cook. The guy's not even. He just fell into all this stuff.
Wow, and he must have been good.
He was good. He's also got that personality, and so he's got like that New York. Hey, what's going on? He's got a big pompadour, and
cool.
and he's been around. He's been on like all the shows.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So and he also did a segment of his show with Dweezil Zappa.
How you doing?
This is Dweezil.
Hey, Johnny, nice to meet you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so you would love this guy. You and Johnny, you and Johnny Chow would be like best buds.
Oh, we would, man.
And that about wraps up the show for today. I do want to tell everybody that this is the last Don and Benny versus the world for the summer. We should be back end of August, early September-ish. And that's also the same time we're going to kick off Put Up, Shut Up, and Stand Up. The game show will be coming back. Me and you are going to be putting a lot of our effort into booking contestants, booking judges, and setting up the show and new rounds. We're going to have GOVS is going to be back and better than ever. And we're just going to start planning out. Like I said, we already have episode 1 of this of our comeback set up. It's going to be Jeff Bosey versus Rich Rader. Right. 2 great comedians, both been on the show before as contestants, and they're going to battle it out. We just got to figure out who our judges are going to be and tighten up the rounds, but it's going to be fun. And so I'm looking
I think
forward.
a lot of people want to be a judge for that show.
Yeah, it's good.
We're not going to have problems finding a judge for that one.
Yes, indeed. So that's what we're going to be putting our energy towards. Top 5s will still be coming on Tuesday mornings. And we're getting prepared for Put Up, Shut Up, and Stand Up, the game show. So we're putting this show on a little bit of a hiatus, but maybe on these Wednesday slots I'll put in conversations, or I could still fill it with something. I'll talk to Tony about that. But for this, for now, we have to put our energy into this. So yeah, Benny. So I just want to say you rock, my friend, as always.
You rock, buddy.
Yes,
you're awesome.
You're awesome, man. And and I want everybody to
you're stone projectionist in the movie theater, awesome, buddy.
Yes, I was hoping I was going to be a stone projectionist, awesome.
Yeah.
But you rock, my friend, and I want everybody to continue watching. Tonight is Christy Miller. Her show rocks. So stay tuned to GOVS Radio for that all week long.
Christy I love Christy, and she's a tough woman.
Oh, she's tough as nails.
She's so tough, she stands up to Pete. She does. She's a tough broad. I love her.
Yes, indeed. Well, Benny, aka Tony Hinchcliffe, I appreciate you, man. Fun stuff today, my friend, and we will see you all back September when we bring back PUSUSU. We'll bring back Don and Benny versus the world, and take care, everyone. Benny,
have a great summer, you racist bastards.
You're awesome, man.
You're awesome, buddy.
Take care, everybody.
So long. Peace.